Hello, everyone. My name is Sonia McCoy Wilson, and I'm the Associate Vice President for Learning here at Atlanta Technical College. On today's episode of Culture of Caring edition, we will be talking to Aarif Bailey, Veteran Services Specialist from Atlanta Technical College.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Well, thank you, Dr. Sonia McCoy Wilson.
My whole name.
Whole name.
Yes. All right. And so I'm going to start first by giving you a high-level definition, providing a high-level definition for anybody who's watching as well of what a culture of caring is, or what caring campus cultures do, set out to do. So that is K-12 campuses, post-secondary, colleges and universities, and also organizations themselves. And so caring cultures place an emphasis on fostering and developing relationships that are characterized by kindness, respect, and a sense of belonging. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay.
So that's kind of the overarching theme of what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
So before we start all that, though, tell us a little bit about your journey here at Atlanta Tech.
Okay. So I started just about 2 years ago take that back. I started just about a year ago, maybe a little more, as the recruitment specialist. So I started in recruitment, working with the CMPR team. And so I was going out and canvassing and interacting with the high school student population, as well as the community, to spread the word about Atlanta Technical College and all the wonderful opportunities that we have to offer. So I started there. Just about 6 months in, it was an opportunity for a veteran specialist to be hired. And so given my veteran background, I found that would be like a niche that I could re-tap into, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And so I applied and went through that interview process and was selected and became the veteran specialist in the center. There's two of us within the center. We have a coordinator, Ms. Banks, who I assist in terms of just taking care of veterans and making it a welcoming environment there in the center. And so I've been doing that since April of last year. And so here I am.
It seems like you've been here so much longer.
I know, right? That's why I said 2 years, but I'm a little...
And so I was thinking back about your role as a recruiter. When you first said that, I was thinking in a totally different way of recruitment. And then I remembered, oh, yes, you guys were talking to high school students and all kinds of people.
Tours and
the like. So having all of that in mind, describe some ways that your department, either now in veteran services or when you were in recruitment, provides caring cultures for students.
I just think our center, like I said in the initial question, is a welcoming space. And so not just for the veteran beneficiary population, because we take care of the veterans, dependents, or anyone else who may be associated with earning those veteran benefits. And so we create a welcoming space not just for them, but we find that students across the entire campus, be it the smell of coffee that brings them in, be it sometimes my smiling face or Miss Banks' congeniality that brings them into the office, but we just created that space where anybody can find themselves, to include staff and faculty within our office for a break or whatever it might be. That's one way. Obviously, we strive to provide great customer service for our veteran population, helping them execute their education benefits, ensuring that they're on track. Over the course of each semester, we interact with them in various ways to, just make sure that they're excelling and they're getting what they expect from the institution. So we do that. We provide, again, wraparound services for the veteran population, and a host of other resources just to make sure that their time spent here with us while they're getting their education is one that's comfortable.
Can you tell us a little bit more about, for those who are not in the college culture and don't know some of these college language
Oh.
words, what wraparound services are and those other resources?
So it's the additional needs. It's the things that individuals need to stay focused on the education itself. So sometimes it might be that a student is experiencing some type of insecurity, be it food, be it housing, be it some of those other needs that when they get to school, they can't take their mind off and focus on school because they're in need of those other things. So that's essentially what I'm covering when I say some of those wraparound service. With our veteran population, it might be mental health assistance or things like that, things that they come to us already with challenges, and we're just trying to cover down on those to make sure that while they're here and they're learning, that they get other needs met.
Awesome. That's a great definition because often we've been working in the college environment so long, we say all these things, like return to Title IV or wraparound services or non-cognitive or whatever.
Which I'm
these
still
things.
learning within my time frame here, some of the lingo for higher ed. So I understand.
Yes. So thank you for defining that. So describe some ways that Atlanta Tech itself provides a culture of caring for faculty and staff, and you being relatively new, you could probably speak on that from a very immediate place.
So I'll lead with some of the great training opportunities that we get from your department with the Staff Institute and those other developmental training opportunities that we get. I feel like that in itself is caring and pouring back into the faculty and staff. So being able to experience that is my immediate thought. When it comes to my center being able to provide that, again, it's just treating each other as internal customers well, and corresponding with each other properly. Again, that creates that comfortable environment. And like you said, me being new here, I've felt welcomed immediately, just based on my interactions across the campus. And so I don't know if I'm getting after the intent of the question, but that's to me defines some of the culture and caring and that we aspire to continue to get after. So that just comes to mind immediately.
You're the second person who has mentioned professional development as a caring
Really?
endeavor. And I'm so happy because this is not just a job for me. This was the topic of my entire life's work.
Okay.
My whole dissertation
Okay.
was about professional development
Okay.
and learning, and so and that being the reason why it's so important.
Right.
And to know that I've done what I came to do.
Good for you. Kudos to you.
And we just continue to brainstorm and develop new ways to pour back into the faculty and staff. I mean, we're trying to.
Well, it's appreciated.
Good. And then I thought about your coffee in your office and how you guys have been doing that forever.
Yes,
probably.
Miss Banks was doing
as
that
long as Miss Banks
long
was
before
down
me.
there. And my office is right down the hall from you, and I had no idea until
You ventured.
Mr. Leach told me I'm going to get my coffee. I'm like, on campus? Is it in the cafe? He's like, no, the veterans office. I was like, well, I'm coming with you because I hadn't made coffee that day, and I'm a coffee drinker. And as I got closer to the office, I smelled the coffee. And that is just such a wonderful way to build relationships.
Yes.
I was embarrassed because I had never been to the office, and it had been there a long time. We did some remodeling, and so that was one part of the student success, one of those remodels that we did.
Okay.
But still, that was too long for me not to have even walked in there. And so now I know where you all are.
And you're welcome.
And I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, so as we come to the end, there's this final question, and this is perfect for you because you were canvassing our whole service area for students. And as you come across students that are very hesitant, very fearful of, the post-secondary environment. They are first gen. I think we serve probably 90% of our students are
Right.
first generation. And so if you could offer any words of advice or encouragement for a student who is, riding the fence and hesitant and fearful of starting this journey, what would you tell that student?
I want to sound very philosophical in
Good,
answering that
please.
question.
Yes.
But the first thing that comes to mind is a quote that I've heard before, and I believe it was from Will Smith. And it states something similar to the first step is to say that you can. And so the first step for anyone's journey in anything is to say that I can, and then put forth just a small um, action behind, just a small step behind that. So if you get here, then you have individuals like yourself and I who will take it from there and help those first gen students and anybody else make those strides to get accepted, get registered, and ensure that they're on track to completing whatever program that their aspirations bring them to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the best. It's my first. But I think that's the best way to say it is you have to start by saying that you can, or the first step to anything is saying that you can.
I absolutely love that. That is all about mindset.
Yeah.
I'm a mindset coach as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the opportunity to be in front of all kinds of young people. And I have a teenager right now and lots of kids of my own. And so it's about what you believe
Mm-hmm.
you can achieve,
Mm-hmm.
what you think you bring into being.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you believe that you can,
Yep.
pretty soon you will convince yourself
Right.
that you can.
Right.
And then you will.
And then when others see that spark, like I said, they'll help you. They'll help you on your journey.
Absolutely. And that's what we are all here to do.
Yeah.
And I think from this entire series, the big takeaway is that we are all working together as an ecosystem of community building and fostering these caring relationships
Yeah.
to get students from a mighty long way
Yeah.
to these aspirations and goals for their life's work. And it can all start here.
Yep. I agree.
We're transforming lives through technical
Absolutely.
education.
My life been transformed here, so.
Yes, and mine too. And that's another thing that the Dr. Leslie was saying in one of the other episodes, is that students are often part of their intimidation factor is when they walk in the building and they're greeted by all of these professional, staff. I told her we must present really well, like we are just so polished or something, because they are very intimidated and they think that, oh, these people are too much for me. Like I'm not ready for them. They're so, farther than I am. And we didn't start this way.
Mm-hmm.
We've been transformed by this journey too.
Mm-hmm.
And if you work at Atlanta Tech long enough, I'm going on my 15th year. If you work at Atlanta Tech long enough, you can completely become who you're supposed to be becoming.
Yes.
Here on this campus. And so that's the thing and tell your story.
Yes.
To students. Students need your story. There's some, saying out there that says that, don't hide your story. Don't be afraid to share your story. Your story can save someone's life one day. And we save lives every day.
True.
Every day.
True.
We are ending generational poverty. We are transforming their lives. And by transforming their lives, they have whole families that they are supporting and needing to support. And they transform theirs too. And then the college going culture begins.
Well said.
Absolutely. I get on my soapbox.
I love it.
And as we come to an end of another episode, we want to thank you for tuning in and spending your valuable time with us for the Culture of Caring edition. We hope that you found this episode informative, thought-provoking, and entertaining. If you enjoyed what you heard, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you can be notified about future episodes. And if you have any feedback or suggestions for topics you would like for us to cover, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We love hearing from our listeners and are always looking for ways to improve and grow. Until next time, continue to stay strong so that you can finish strong.